Age is just a number.
Age is just a number.
Age is just a number.
Okay.
It is incredible how much I have to say right now. Roll the theme song, Aaron.
Black independent, strongest in women. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay now. I know that I'm worth it, so make sure to listen. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay.
It is. Okay, so I watched Netflix's Age of Attraction. And I watched all 8 episodes, and I watched the 3-hour reunion that was posted on Nick Vile's YouTube channel. Can we just, before I get started on anything, can we just talk about how much money he get into off that reunion? Not only is that a 3-hour video with almost 2 million views as I record right now, it had at least 4 different sponsorships on that. When I tell y'all, that little evil little elf is getting to the mother bag off that, which is egregious. I'm not. We gonna get back to it, okay? Listen. So I didn't watch the whole thing. And let me tell you something. Netflix only does a bunch of when it pertains to dating shows. Like, Netflix strictly does. But what Netflix is doing with Age of Attraction? Jail. Prison.
Electric chair.
Holy shit.
Let me make sure y'all understand. This is quite literally the nastiest propaganda Netflix ever did try. And let me just say this too. I will never again give even the slightest bit of grace to any, I don't even know who's really behind what, you know what I mean? Because Netflix is likely don't even be producing this shit this stuff. You know, it's Kinetic, it's this company, it's XYZ. Netflix just selling shit to us. But who the fuck? Whoever is the mastermind behind the that has been happening on Love is Blind and this but now this shit is so unacceptable from beginning to end. First of all, it's called Age of Attraction. Let me y'all, if I Age of Attraction. You hear the title? And so, oh, my age don't matter. It's the age of whatever I'm attracted to.
You baby harvesting demon
What
maggots.
the fuck?
What? Nigga.
What the fuck?
Really bothered.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me make sure y'all understand something. Let me make sure Netflix don't get y'all f***ed up. Statutory rape with this whole show is to normalize people having inappropriate relationships with young people. This ain't nothing but pedophilia, propaganda, nasty propaganda, nasty old bitch, nasty old propaganda. Jail. And let me make sure y'all understand something about we're not gonna know each other's ages. We just gonna go by whatever we attracted to. Do you understand how problematic of a premise that is? Let's not even know their ages. Now let's not ask that. Let's just pick the youngest people, the youngest looking people in the room. Andrew, Jorge, what that name? Derek. Jail. Let's go pick the youngest people and let's just go by what we attracted to and da-da-da. We have a connection and then we'll find our names. Are you crazy? Are y'all crazy? Let me make sure y'all understand something up front. Statutory rape is a strict liability crime. And let me tell you what that means. If y'all, hi, my name is Olay Mueller and Esquire. Put it up. Strict liability crime means it doesn't matter what you knew. It doesn't matter what your intent. If you with somebody who is underage, it does not matter if you saw their fake ID that said they was older. It doesn't matter if they lied to you. It doesn't matter if you didn't know what you taught. Strict liability means jail. It means you going to jail, no matter. And there is a reason for that. Strict liability means it doesn't matter what kind of connection y'all had. It doesn't matter how much they say they like you to, no matter what the child says, because they're a child. We have laws like that in place to protect children because we as big grown adults recognize that a child is not of the same capacity as we do to consent. They do not understand all the things at play. They do not know what they don't know. We know that. That's the problem with big grown crusty 43-year-old talking to 23-year-old bitches who frontal lobe in form. A 60-year-old talking to a 27-year-old gal. A 38-year-old talking to a 22-year-old girl who could pass for a 16-year-old girl in the grassy right now. Jail. And it ain't just a 54-year-old woman going after a 27-year-old boy younger than her oldest child. Prison. 49-year-old bitches threatening, pressuring 29-year-old. Prison.
Believe it or not, jail right away.
Let me tell you something. Let me stop for this video is just me screaming. Jail. Jail. Throw away the key. No hearing. You know why? You know, egregious. Before I could even get it, listen, I have to rant before I can, and this is actually a rant. Rare time, this is an unscripted video, baby. This is a rant. Fresh from my soul, okay? Because before I can even talk to y'all about these couples in detail, I need to address the general air of bullshit that was happening all throughout the show. Okay, first and foremost, a bunch of old ass walking into a room where there are people who are their age. They ain't looking their way. They looking for the youngest looking
I like him younger.
As young as possible.
to grin up in their face talking about, oh, well, I don't know how old you are. And then when they get their age reveal and it's like, oh, I'm 22. Whoa, what? Really? Oh, I could have never guessed. Oh, I need to think if I can. All right, y'all. Egregious. Egregious. And let me tell you something about Nick Viall. Nick Viall and his wife. Look here, I know who Nick Viall is only because a lot of the times Love is Blind people, when they go do an interview after the show, they'll go on there. So that's the only reason I know who he is. And I think he has something to do with The Bachelor before or something. I know. But that's the only reason I know him. I know his YouTube channel. I did not know that he was married to a little ass girl until the show, where apparently he is here working. This show is such a nasty kind of propaganda. I can't even believe they have us watching this shit. But that's exactly what I should expect to be watching in Trump's America. But I can't believe this shit. Trump is a pedophile. Nasty people. So Nick Viall up here trying to do propaganda PR work for his marriage because he married to a little ass girl. And let me tell you, they so bold and blatant with it because the first thing they do is him and his wife hosting the show, and they have her doing the talking, and she's the one going out her way to tell the story of how they did it. Like, oh, I DM'd him, and I was the one like, oh, I knew what I wanted. They intentionally trying to make her seem, really that. It's like, y'all think I don't what y'all doing? So it could seem like he's like, oh, I was the one with the reservation. So see, it's like, see, she's young, but she pursued him, and he ain't wed, and let me tell you something. It don't matter how much words you use, how much dictionary you pile up, how much people you get, how much Netflix in it, what kind of camera you use. There's nothing that could ever convince me a 40-something-year-old motherfucker have anything to be talking to no 19, 20-something-year-old gals about. No 22, 21, 20 bill. Are y'all out of your mind? Like, who you think you could convince with that? We grown. The show's yuck. And then here's advanced propaganda. They try to frame it like, how Netflix dating shows always got to pretend like they have some larger thought experiment, right? Meanwhile, for thought experiment, what they mean is propaganda. But anyway, I Love is Blind and Sheila Shades always come on and act like, oh, we're trying to do all this to determine if love really is blind. Okay. Nick Viall and his gal, they're like, oh, we're going to put you into this experiment in a retreat or whatever way you connect without knowing each other's ages until you go and commit to each other. They don't find out each other's ages until they commit to each other and decide to go live together. Because we trying to see whether or not age really does matter. But that's bullshit. They're not, like, we know it's bullshit. It should go without saying, but humor me. Let me make sure y'all understand the level to which we know it's bullshit. If the hypothesis, the thesis, the question at hand, what you're trying to explore was whether or not age does matter, wouldn't you be looking at the entire population, the entire sample size there, assessing the people who want to connect with people their age? Wouldn't that count towards whether or not it matters? Wouldn't that go towards a larger thesis? Like, yes, hell, all these people who determined, yes, I connect with people my age, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. But no, there was a bunch of people that committed to people who was their age. The show ain't follow them. The show ain't mention them. They ain't get a lick of screen time because that.
Age is just a number.
The agenda is not to determine whether or not age matters. The agenda is to push that it doesn't.
Age is just a number.
That you should be able to go date the youngest people and it don't matter. Advanced, sickening propaganda. And the worst part about this propaganda is not only nasty as but it's doing the opposite. Every predatory thing that we think about old ass people going after young ass people was on display in this show. And when I tell you Nick Vile was bending, I mean this contorting himself into pretzels in the reunion, trying to push the agenda like so aggressively that he was actively like vilifying every young person in the dynamic that even for 1 second tried to think about their needs. But we can talk about the reunion later because I have so much I have to talk about the show first. Listen, we can get there. I getting ahead of myself. And another thing, before I start getting into the couples themselves, let me explain something to y'all. Every old motherfucker on there looked just as old as they were. Let me tell y'all something. Look here, white people.
Jeez, that's me.
Let me make y'all understand something. All the white people, I don't even know what got into Jorge and Leah's minds in particular. Not in particular, because obviously the most delusional as to what the they look like is Teresa, then Vanessa. We got address in a second, but I have to call my knee to the front first. Leah, Jorge. Leah is a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Hair nice, makeup nice. I wish she would use lip liner. I don't know what her problem is. Why she like these light pink lipsticks without these lip liner, I don't know. But beautiful makeup nonetheless. Beyond that, that's a stylistic choice, I suppose. But beautiful woman. When I turned the show on, me, Nigel, and CJ say, oh, she's probably 42. And you know what she was? 41. Because a black 41 is beautiful, but it's 41. It doesn't look 30. The amount of times Leah, so many times, like Leah thinks she looks so young, and I'm confused as to who Leah live around. Because I'm like, you can't live around black people and think you look like you giving 30 to black people. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
It ain't gon' nah.
and again, there's nothing, a black 40 is, her skin is beautiful. It's like nothing. Let me explain something to you. Or how white people and the rest of everybody age, like y'all have your own predicaments over here, okay? Listen, I talking about we ain't gonna be wrinkled up and radically transformed or anything. It's not that you look old, like your shit falling apart or anything like that at 40. No. But it's just a maturity. It's just a look. Your look changed. It's a youthful look that we all have, like our looks mature. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what to tell you. So it's like, I could look at Leah and know, oh, you look great. But I know you're not 30. I know you look different. You see what I'm saying? Like, you might look just like yourself, but younger is what I'm saying. She looked 40. She looked 42 because she is.
You can cancel me for that. I don't care.
I'm like, why you keep the way I know y'all didn't think. Okay. When they was like revealing the ages to the group, she was like, drum roll, y'all ready for this? 41. Yeah, bitch. Yeah. Yes, 41. 41. And let me tell you something, Jorge. And don't let these white people online gas you and deceive you and Venelle. Jorge looks like he look like a 60-year-old. I don't know what to tell y'all. Don't know what 60-year-old black people look like. What are y'all talking about? And the way like trying to perpetrate like a shocking. Listen, he have when he behind, you see him walk his body. He is old. What are y'all talking about? He's visibly an old. I feel like I was in La La Land. Oh my God. Oh my mother God. That man was visibly, we looked at him, I hand to God. We saw that get up and I just say, my friend, I just say, I know a 60-year-old see one. And I do. And we do. Y'all, look here. You know what this reminds me of? when I was in boarding school, right? Because I went to boarding school in West Virginia. And so there's only a handful of black students. And it's like how you automatically, if you at a white school, you could be the most regular black dancer, but you was the baddest on the floor at this white school. So you carried on like you have all the oops. That's what it is. These black people around these white people acting like they the fountain of youth. You look black 60, black 40, cut it out. And I'll give Derek, 43-year-old Derek, that Derek does look very youthful. You know what I say about Derek? Derek is the one nigga who wasn't going out of his way to talk about how young he look or that he look younger than his age. Because really live it, don't gotta run on like that. But even Derek, when Derek wasn't talking in his white people voice for just a split second, what do you mean? Listen, any old who you could see would have a full beard, but they have their face completely of all that facial. He trying to look young. Don't mind these. They ain't no. You know how young Pfifer look? Pfifer look like I'm 32. Pfifer look like a child to me. What the does a 43-year-old man have looking? Y'all say again, started. I ain't supposed to even be talking about the relationships yet. You see they saying the show's running so hot. My problem is this dog. You know what? Let me go back to ranting, but who look old as shit. Also, Teresa. Teresa. Not only does let me tell you something. I ain't even want to say what I didn't want to say because I ain't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Let me put it to you this way. First of all, you're a white 54. So, you know. Teresa, beautiful lady, like features, like you're a pretty lady. You're a pretty 54-year-old woman. And you would seem like a pretty 54-year-old woman if you stood next to a 54-year-old man. But for you to think, you look good for a white old woman. You look great for a white old woman. You do not look great to say go be with a 27-year-old boy. You ain't even mind.
He's already dead.
Oh my God. See, I went right on because that reminded me about Vanessa. Then I get in the head of myself. But then there's Vanessa old ass. And Vanessa, beautiful. I liked Vanessa so much until she got with Logan. And I saw how she is with men. And I was like, oh, you're annoying as But I'm like, Vanessa would be, if Vanessa was with a man her age, Vanessa's a fine body. He got him a body. But Vanessa, just because you's a body. Yes, you're a body. You're a 49-year-old body. But that's not to say that you could be crazy enough to think you could go be with a 29-year-old boy, not tell him your age, and then chastise him because he say, even without knowing your age, he know you older than him. He can see that.
I mean, because like there's obviously a visible age gap. I mean,
She thinks.
She hot like, what? I'm so offended. That's so nasty. I'm starting to see that immaturity in him. Like, you don't know our ages. You don't know. Girl, bitch.
God damn.
Bitch, look at your skin. Your skin is aging. Your skin has aged. You ain't gotta say nothing. We could see you, baby. We could see you, baby. Lord, y'all, look here. Oh my God. And before I ain't even started talking about the show yet. How far is? Mother been talking for 20 minutes. I still ranted. Andrew. Y'all don't know how bad I got drag Andrew in this video. Y'all just don't know. But let me say this. Andrew is 38. And does Andrew look younger than a white 38? Yes, he does. I give him that. You look younger than white people 38 for sure. You look like you had some work done. Some good work. I ain't gonna say it ain't no good work, but you do look like you've had some work done. But nonetheless, I give him that he look younger than a white 38. Does that make you younger than 38? No, it doesn't. This is what I need to be understood. I need to impress upon people. You being good looking at your old age don't make you not old. It doesn't make it so that it's not inappropriate that you want to bitches who could be your child older sister. Are you jail? This show is such a remarkable case study on how ageism and desirability are connected. And because people are so scared of aging because they think that means they won't be desirable anymore, that they want young people just to validate their youth. And the fact that it's not gendered. You see men, you see the Teresas and the Andrews want young bitches, young purely to validate themselves. Sad. Yuck. Which couple should I start with? Let me see. Before I even move on to the couples, let me make one last general point about these nasty old people and how they know they're nasty. You know, I find interesting and I think it's worth pointing out. All of these old who have deliberately gone to a show for the express purpose of seeking out the youth. Y'all in a room full of all kind of people and you choose, let me tell you this, connection shit. I so tired of Netflix and the word connection. Ban it! I tired of it. Oh, we have a connection. We have a connection. What the is a connection? Oh, we have a connection. They all this connection business to make it sound like there's some spiritual moving. No, you don't. All right? You saw a young motherfucker and your horny old ass gone over fucking there.
Gosh, gosh, bagosh, it's a brand new paperboy. That's a mighty full sack you're carrying.
Piss off, you perverted old freak.
With a connection, we have a connection. The way people like to try and people use these words because they think if they assign something, some like nebulous meaning, they make it sound like some kind of spiritual movement. It's like you can't put it on them. Like it's not making them making the decision, which is the whole purpose of naming a show something like Age of Attraction. Like, oh, as though like my attraction, that's what moves me first. Oh, connection, that's what moves me first. This is a bunch of bullshit. Y'all are adult people making choices and it's unacceptable. The is this? Oh my God. I can't believe y'all me doing this much screaming. I know my mic carrying on bad. Clip it. For all these old ass people trying to convince you that they just somehow mysteriously had connections with all these people old enough to be their children, right? All these young ass people. Like, oh, we just have so much in common. We have so much in this. You know what I noticed? Their friends don't be that age. If you look, Teresa and Vanessa. Teresa pick out a 27-year-old boy. Vanessa pick out a 29-year-old. But you notice they friends with each other in there. The people who you choose as your casual friends will automatically the bitches closest to you in age because that's what you could relate to. So you ain't gonna convince me that you were just most attracted to, most connected to that young bitch. No, you weren't.
Liar!
Notice old ass Andrew, all he date is 20 to 22-year-old gals. But when we meet his friends, they was 37 like him.
You cannot trick me.
Y'all, what they look like, ass? Y'all better stop this shit here.
A few moments later.
Anyway, that's my last. And we ending our intro housekeeping rants. But before we get any deeper into this video, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, because who better to sponsor this video than Beducated? Unlike many of the people we cover here on this channel, we have good sense. And a part of that good sense is knowing that sex is important, it need not be vanilla, and it's a skill you practice and get better at, which is why Beducated is brilliant. Beducated offers over 150 expert-led courses on everything from G-spot orgasms to all kind of oral techniques. These courses aren't just backed by experts, they're taught by experts. And it's educational, but it's not boring. They have a huge variety. Beducated has fun courses on everything from self-pleasure to couples intimacy to kink and so much more in one place. Now look, I'm about to get in your personal business and y'all need not get in mine, but just know, Beducated makes sure that your sex life has all the razzle-dazzle you need to do what needs to be done. So what are you waiting for? Join Beducated today. You can click the link in my description, use the QR code on my screen, or you can go to beducated.com/BG2614-Illuminati to start using Beducated today. Again, you can use the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to start getting your life right with Beducated. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Beducated. Now let's get back to it. Now I can move on to finally talking about these up ass couples. Let me start with Vanessa Logan because I don't even feel like I have to talk about this long.
I am 29 years old.
I am 49.
Damn! This relationship don't make no sense. And it didn't make no sense from the beginning and it didn't make no damn sense by the end. Vanessa is 49. Logan is 29. Vanessa has a child and she is an adult child that she had at 18. Right? She had the child at 18 and she's 49. That means the child is older than this little Vanessa's been engaged 4 times. She's never been married. Everybody in her life is married, including her child. All right. The original person she was making out with was 26-year-old Chris, who we could get to him when we talk about Leo. Because justice for Chris. Anyway, Vanessa was the first messing with Chris. They was making out in the pool, and then she catch herself and was like, oh, I feel like this is how I usually do relationships in the real world or whatever. Like I go for like hot and heavy and perfect and steamy and love bomby and stuff first. So I feel like I shouldn't do that anymore. So she immediately break things off with Chris, only to get with Logan and then immediately start giving this the hottest time because he ain't Chris. Like she went, oh, why he ain't me? We the first 2 nights living together, he ain't me. This feel like a friendship. She on his ass like, that girl is unpleasant. She's unpleasant. She's a 50-year-old. Let me tell you something, my Caribbean bees round up. You 49, you 50. Don't try to play cute round here. You 50. And you know what? I round up for her. 30. I give him that he's 30. I round up for you, baby girl. I say that 29-year-old boy is 30 and you are 50. Pressuring this boy. Like, oh, you need to you need to this, da, 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 da. And then even once he her, you could hear the girl like trying to talking to him like a child, like, let me, unpleasant, horrible, didn't make no sense. And I don't even understand why he trying to force himself to like her, because they don't get along. Their relationship is bad. He wasn't enjoying it. And somehow the next thing you know, they engaged at the end. He proposed to her. And the thing is, when he gone to propose to her, he tried to do something like cute, like ask her for the promise ring back to like, he thought he was being cute. But anyway, I mean, you make a thing for a second, like a figure, like he was breaking up with her. And so when he asked for the promise ring back, and she thought, because so he could go give her the engagement ring. When she thought he was breaking up with her, she immediately was like, I should have gone, but my first instinct, she started dragging him. And I'm just like, this look like a recipe for a marriage?
I don't think so, Jim.
Be serious. I don't know why none of the parents that appeared on this show, I don't understand why none of the parents were more, I don't understand what is this tolerant, gentle parenting of before. Like, nobody was cussing, like the parents just allowed this shit to happen, and I can't understand it. All his parents pointed out to him is like, well, you said you wanted 4 children, you wanted like a big family. This is a 49-year-old bitch who can't give you no turn, so what's going on there? And then all of a sudden he like, oh, I mean, I don't know, I want to have kids now. And I'm like,
that's suspicious.
What the how did this woman manage to and that's again, this is why old ass people ain't supposed to be with young people, because the amount of undue influence you can have on a younger person is egregious. Because the amount of these young people that was getting talked to and muscle into and swing into directions that ain't for them don't make no sense. But somehow at the end he proposed to her, and at the reunion they were still together. I don't even have nothing to say about that. That's a bunch of bullshit. Free yourself. Move on. Alexis and Pfifer. That's not their names. Alexis and Pfifer. Where I make that up? He named Derek. Derek and Pfifer. Derek and Pfifer.
First, I'll start with my boys. Right. So Dominic is 5 and Carter's 15.
Okay. What the fuck?
And I'm 43.
I'm 23.
This is unacceptable. There was a time, and by there was a time, I mean, if this had been a month ago, if this was a month ago, I would have declined. Not that I wouldn't have thought it. I would have declined to point out these black men who go on these shows looking for white women, right? I would have just not said nothing, just to keep the peace. I'd have just move on with my life, right? But after Love is Blind, where I went out my way to offer Vic, I went out my way to offer Vic a grace that don't even come natural to me. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? I ain't want to just be without evidence and saying I ain't gonna accuse this man and then I assume, you know, production is this, yada, 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 yada. I ain't gonna accuse him of just going to go get a white woman and blah, 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 without more and this and the next thing. And let me tell you something. That's the last time. Let me tell you something. That's the last set of grace you ever see me give these on Love is Blind. Because the way Vic, this is a whole side tangent. The way Vic took him and that white woman ass onto Fox News to do conservative Christian propaganda on Fox News and going on threads trying to like oh my god, look here, I ain't even gonna run on because I already running on too much before I get into these couples, and this is not a Love is Blind video. But just know, never again. I take back every piece of grace I ever gave these coon ass. And in keeping with that, I'll never give no grace again. Because let me talk about this 43-year-old come on this show to pick out this white child. Listen, Derek come off nice, or he don't do nothing, he don't say too much and blah, blah, blah. That's because the performing can't talk too much. No 43-year-old who trying to speak in his white voice to appeal to a 23-year-old white girl and seem palatable and likable on TV has too much to say. So he just there with his cleanly shaven face to give youthful and just smiling. And it's like, oh, him and Pfifer seem so cute. They seem so good. Their connection. They talk about, crazy. Y'all crazy. This is a 43-year-old crusty with a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old child going on a show full of a woman, and he picks a 22, when she was 24? No, she's 23. He 43, she 23. He pick a 23-year-old white girl that could pass for 16. A girl, a child. And it doesn't matter how mature she is, smart age, it doesn't matter. It's not about these little girls. It's not about these little people. It's about what these old and these old bitches is doing and why they doing it with they nasty, inappropriate asses. These kids you have to understand, a 22-year-old girl, a 24-year-old girl, a 25-year-old, 26-year-old, all these people are the oldest they've ever been. They only know the world as they see it. That's the most mature they've ever been. They're the oldest and grownest they've ever been. They don't know how young they are, but we do. You've been 22. I'm 32. 22 is a whole different bitch ago. When I look at my 22-year-old self, that'd be like, oh my God, that young girl. Somebody go help that young girl. Now a 43-year-old. You know what the 23-year-old girl is? The 43-year-old. You know what's crazy about these old ass? Whenever 43-year-old Derek or 38-year-old Andrew, every time they start trying to talk about their old mistakes or how they end up having kids or whatever they did, it was like, oh, I was really young. I was like 22. So you don't think that's crazy? So when you talk about these, you don't think that's crazy? You are now trying to date people that are the age that you reflect on as a youthful, innocent, naive, you stumbling through the world. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Prison. And then saying goofy shit like, oh, I haven't been in. You know what? It just don't make no sense. So then, not only are you 43, connecting with this 23-year-old young girl, and when you have children, and that's another thing. Let's talk about these grown-ass men who have young and teenage children that they supposed to be home taking care of, and you on Netflix show looking for young tail. I can call the police. I can call the police. And the thing is, I like Pfifer. I like the young girls. The funny thing is, the young girls on this show were more mature than the old gals. But that's the problem, is because they're mature for their age. They think that they are equipped to handle these old. That's what Pfifer thinking. That's what Libby thinking. And they're incorrect. They don't see the intentions and the agenda there. And it's insane. Pfifer where she live? She live in Seattle, and Derek lives in Dallas with his children. And so they come to the conclusion because he's settled, he has kids, he can't uproot his kids, he can't move, she should move. This 23-year-old girl should give up her life and what she doing with her career in Seattle to go be with him. And that is, again, we just getting into the problems of these kinds of relationships and getting these young people to sacrifice these things. Lord, it's egregious, man. I'd really been hoping that her parents would step in. When we met the parents, I really thought she was so nervous for it. I thought the parents was gonna be the voice of reason, but they weren't. They just I trust my daughter, I support my daughter, I know who my daughter is. And I guess I understand that, because I understand their thought process. I don't even think that was bad parenting. I understand parents like that, approving of their child's thought process enough that they will get behind something that maybe they wouldn't support because they trust their child to be making level-headed decisions or know what they're doing for them. Because my daddy has a baseline assumption if he sees black people dating white people, specifically if he sees black women dating white men, he has immediate assumptions he makes where he assumes they're coons. But when I dated a white guy and I dated a white guy one time in law school, and when I introduced him to my daddy didn't have a problem because my daddy was like, well, I know my daughter, and I know my daughter's not a coon, so I ain't worried about that. He did shortly after that stop paying my rent, but coincidence maybe. But anyway, I say all that to say, I thought the parents might intervene, but they did not. So the show ends with her deciding, okay, fine, I'm gonna move to Dallas to be with you. And I was like, no, Dran, no way. And so I was so happy to hear by the reunion. Once she got back, she realized, no, I'm not gonna do that. I can't uproot my whole life and move to Dallas to go be with this man and this children.
I never want to speak on a podcast that doesn't feel like an authentic choice, or one that I'm not enthusiastic about. So this is not shade to the host of a podcast, anybody who went on the reunion, or anybody who listens. Derek and I ended on good terms. I have no bad blood with anybody in the cast, so kind of just wanted to leave it that way, honestly. Hashtag protect your peace.
The way Nick Viall and Derek was going out of their way to make it seem problematic or immature that a 23-year-old girl was strong enough and had enough of a community behind her to stop her from uprooting her entire life behind a 43-year-old
Derek knew I was in college and that I had roommates because we talked about it in Vancouver. And it's a little disheartening to see people laughing because I'm 23 and I have roommates. I think that's a very normal thing for most people who are in or freshly out of college. So I don't know if they have forgotten what it's like to be in your early 20s or what, but thank you, Libby, for making the face that I probably would have made if I was there. Appreciate you, girl.
A 43-year-old with 2 children by 2 different women, one that's only 5, yet he talking about he ain't been this open with a woman in a decade. They should have been clapping for her, but the show has an agenda. So they was on the show, they was on the reunion vilifying this girl, and she wasn't there. She wasn't in attendance because she was living her life, okay? They said she was celebrating her birthday in Japan. I know that's right. And they was talking bad, but I said, what is this? Ew. Anyway, so moving on from them. Leah and Chris.
I am 26 years old.
What if I said I was 41?
Jesus Christ. Justice for Chris, okay? Because at the reunion, they was jumping on Chris' back. Like, Chris so wrong because he didn't like Leah and he break up with Leah and he didn't tell Leah he didn't like Leah and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, y'all, I'm telling you, the way Nick vied the agenda of this show and that reunion was to jump on the young people who chose themselves and didn't let these old people muscle them into these relationships. Let me tell you something. For there to only be one Black woman on the show and I don't like her, should tell you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? Like, Leah was annoying as weird. Weird is the right word. She wasn't just annoying. She was weird. There was something about her like, she's weird. She's weird. Weird. I guess weird is the best word to describe it. Like, she's peculiar. She's odd. She's odd. She's an odd lady. I liked her dress and I liked those colors on her at the reunion, and I'll give her that. And I liked her eyebrows and I liked her hair. I did not like her lack of lip liner. That to me, listen, there's something, I laughing because when me and Kenny saw this trailer, the first thing we said to each other was like, her not having lip liner on with this pink lipstick. That tells me everything I need to know by her. Okay, it's really telling, babe. Like, y'all, hold on. I had a college professor in undergrad. She was a lawyer and she was teaching me, I was in one of her legal classes, right? And I remember her telling this story about how when she was a practicing attorney, she during voir dire, she struck somebody off her jury because the woman had on blue eyeshadow and she was like, she can't trust nobody with blue eyeshadow to make any good decisions. Oh, which is some bullshit. I love her with blue eyeshadow, but I think about that. But I said that to say, a Black woman in 2026 with pink lipstick and no lip liner?
I knew there was something wrong with you.
She ain't all up there. You know what I mean? I telling you, she ain't all up there. Just know that. That's all I have to, just listen. And I deadly serious. If this was 2013, if this was 2011 to 2016, it would have just been the times. We were all confused. But in 2026, with a full beat, everything else beat. With no lip liner, I know what you are. She have braids, but if she didn't have braids, her weave would look confusing. Trust me. If her wig, you would see it. Like, I'm telling you, that's conservative hair. Like, you know, you could... Black women know what I'm talking about. Y'all could see it on Leo. And all of that is in keeping with this 41-year-old woman insisting on trying to pretend she looks so much younger in her mind, like needing to cling to that, and picking a 26-year-old non-Black boy to be pressuring. And then you want to be all up under him. He ain't allowed to have no space. That little boy was being tortured. She was torturing him. And he was fine. I give it up. She, at 41, don't need to be looking this way. But he did look good. He did look good, I ain't gonna lie. He also looked sad because she had that head side, stressed the out. And he told his mommy, he was telling his mommy how he felt. And that's why I'm telling you, she was weird. She gives a little like, I don't know, babe. Like she have like a crazy white fatal attraction female like energy about her. That boy, by the time when he introduced her to his mommy, like she's like, I honestly, Aaron, you could just have to use like a couple of clips. I can't even describe the kind of oddness that she would. Okay, boom. Like just how she's be, like she crazy, like she does a lot. Like anytime they get around people, she's like, when she realized like, oh, we kissed Vanessa before, she was like, oh, y'all kissed? Oh, was it see me? Oh, I didn't. That's how she is in front of them. But then when she get in the confessional, she's like, oh, he should have told me. I thought I would have a partner who would tell me. So that's definitely going to be something we have to talk about. And like, she crazy. She's
Maybe add 10 years. Maybe. +1.
Oh my God.
I'm 41.
Wow. You don't look it at all. Thank you.
See him that mature. I don't know. I cannot. I love that. I don't know. That is.
I'm telling you, I see it and all. So anyway, when she leaves the table and he has some time to talk to his mommy by himself, he's like, this mommy know, like, Nick, mommy, I am so drained. This feel horrible. Like, tell me if I'm supposed to be feeling like this. Like, and he just, like, the boy was obviously, like, emotionally, like, he was yawning to convince me he wasn't suffering for true in that relationship. And so, of course, by the time the show ends, when they decide whether or not to commit to each other, he breaks up with her. But then at the reunion, not only is Leah on this neck, but everybody on the stage, like including Venelle and all of them, was like, you didn't like Leah and it wasn't fair. And Libby was like, yeah, you didn't like her. And when looking back, it was so unfair to see how into you she was and that you didn't like her and you just didn't tell her that and you pretended so you could look like a good guy on TV. And I was just like, I'm so sick and tired of this. Like this, it's a Netflix dating show thing where we think if the person didn't like the other person they were dating, like they're a villain. Like what is wrong with it? Specifically when the man don't like the gal. I'm like, what the He didn't like her. What is the problem here? They're like, oh, he didn't look like a bad guy. He didn't look like a bad guy, or was he not a bad guy? Which is it? Like, I'm like, when you talking about, like, the was suffering. It was so obvious. Like, she's 41. Do you know how insane you look like a 41-year-old woman trying to, like, reprimand a 26-year-old boy for not being it? You look stupid. You look silly. I can't even engage this nonsense. Ugh. The only thing I give Leah, because that'll roll us into our next people, is when Teresa, I pretty much don't like Leah like at all. The only time I was firmly on Leah's side was when Teresa and John, they were all together, all the different couples, and Nick Val and them was like talking about them meeting each other's families, and it came out that Teresa intentionally didn't have her family. She wouldn't tell her kids how old John was because she don't want her children to know that John is younger than them. And so when Nick Val and them see a facial expression on Leah, they ask how she felt about that. And Leah was basically like calling out the fact that you're hiding it from your kids. Like you're ashamed. You're supposed to tell them. You ain't telling them. And there's a reason for that. And then this white woman fixed her mouth like she mad because she shamed as she should be. No boy younger than her son. She shamed, so she started trying to turn up on Leah like as though Nick Val and them didn't ask her opinion. It wasn't like Leah just volunteered it. Like she was asked, and then she was like, "Oh, it's none of your business. You need to get into it or whatever." And Leah was like, "Well, this is my opinion," and I offered it. She was like, "Well, you can keep it to yourself." Da, 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 da. And then she literally, let me tell you something. I wanted if I could have punched this old white bitch through the screen. She could say she look at this 54-year-old white woman looked at Leah and was like, "Don't come for me." Off the claps ain't even right. Don't come for me. Otherwise, she didn't even know what she wanted to say. She just, let me tell you something. There's something about I cannot stand when white women, the microaggression of white women's subtle racism and it's always it's good old like liberal white woman racism. The minute they have a disagreement with a black woman, all of a sudden they want to sis, boo, honey, they want to start trying to caricature. There's nothing more that has made me want to slap the teeth out of bitch mouth. I wanted to, and you're 54. You're a 54-year-old white woman. It couldn't be any clearer, the co-option. What is this? It ain't even on beat. She didn't even know what to say. She wanted to like act like she could check her, but she didn't even know. She didn't even have it. She ain't even witty enough. It don't even come natural to her. She was like, "Don't come for me, otherwise." Bitch, you don't even know what that means. What is the... Oh, y'all don't know. Let me tell you something. Teresa made an enemy out of me. Teresa made an enemy out of me. I don't like these own trifling hoes on this show. So we can just move on. We can just move on from there. And you know what? And again, I still don't like Leah because Leah was annoying again at the reunion on Chris' ass. And then she also was trying to, like, during Teresa and John's section, the entire stage was gaslighting the out of John. They was jumping on John back, making John out to be the villain. Because like I said, if the young person chose not to be, letting this old person run them and having them in their cycle of nonsense and expecting them to constantly validate and reassure them of their own securities about their old asses doing bullshit, all of a sudden, the young person is the villain on the stage. So they was doing John dead stink. And in the course of that, Leah opened up her mouth to be like, as they like jumping on John, she like jumps in to like lend like support to Teresa, like to like jump on John some more. And I'm like, bitch, I'm like, ain't even no point me defending John too hard against Leah, because pictures done come out since the reunion. Like, the night of the reunion, you can see the outfit they in. John and Leah was in a bar somewhere making out. So, child. But let's get to Teresa and John.
I'm 54.
I am 27. Oh my God.
Oh, this shit is egregious. And I like John. Let me just say this. I like John. I think I liked all the young people. Yeah, all the young people. It's really like none of the young people is the problem, child. But I liked John. And John dresses really nice. I want to say this. John dressed real sharp. I surprised John wasn't from Williamsburg. He have a particular, like, there's a brand of Williamsburg white boy that like looks like, if you looked at him too fast or whatever, you would think he was like gay or metrosexual or a little bit effeminate, but he actually likes the bitches, all kind of bad bitches.
Batman. When a quirky white boy has a little bit of swag, he busts it down sexual style and becomes goated with the sauce.
Like, there's a brand of white Williamsburg, even ginger. There is. I dated a white boy one time named Michael. Me too. Who he reminds me of, child. But there's a brand of them. Anyway, Teresa and John together. And Teresa is dead shame and insecure because she know it looks crazy. And she keep trying to like, oh, let me tell you, she was trying her hardest. Oh, Lord, like, Teresa is everything wrong with everything they say about a white woman feminist. You know what I mean? Like, or when we say white woman's feminism, you know what I mean? Not just every white woman who is a feminist, but specifically a brand of white woman feminism, because the way she kept trying to be like, oh, my problem is just that it's a double standard. It's a society wouldn't blink an eye if I were a man with a woman this young, but they're trying to give me shit because I'm a woman. And like that, she was trying to use that to justify why she was trying to hide and lie about his age to her children and withhold the information from them. It is inappropriate for old ass crusty to be with young girls, okay? They ain't supposed to be getting no credit for that either. They supposed to be getting shit. They supposed to be getting shit. So you can't be like, well, we just let them do it. So if they could be a predator, why can't I be a predator? If they could be weird, why can't I be weird? Because it's weird. Because weird.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
You want to be a weirdo with the weird?
I don't fit in.
Like, bitch. No, egregious. But anyway, John dead into her. Like, she's the one constantly, John dead into her. She dead worried about her kid's opinion, so she decides she won't lie to her Sharon. And in the end, and John is very, like, all the things, you know, she keep bringing up. She's like, oh, what if people, you know, see us out? She was like, oh, I'm so worried that, like, if people see us out together and they're gonna, like, think that I'm your mom, and what if they come up to us and they say, like, oh, is this your son? And it's like, bitch, that's exactly what the they thinking. That's exactly what they're thinking, because that's what the looks like, because that's what the could be. He's younger than your oldest son. You're uncomfortable because it's true. You're not worried about what people out there in the world saying about you. You're worried about what you know is true about you. That's the tea. But nonetheless, John ain't the one worried. John is like, he dead sure about her. He don't have no problem with this. All the things she bringing up, like, oh, what about with kids and da-da-da. You know, I can't have kids. He's like, I don't want kids. I never wanted kids. He's like, I never saw that for my life. The age thing don't bother me at all. It doesn't have to be an issue if it don't bother you. Now, check stock. They end the show saying, okay, yeah, we could commit together. We could be together. But at the reunion, John explained, oh, they broke up because when she gone to New York, Lord, y'all don't get me started on Teresa. This woman... The way she was trying to present this, she said they gone to New York after the show. They had a trip where they gone down to Florida and it was all good. Then when they gone to New York, she said him and her did have a good time. Then she'd go to lunch with his sister and another cast member from the show. And she said it was like they were going out of their way to make age of things. It made me feel uncomfortable. It felt like they just kept talking about these things that only like they could relate at their age. And it was like they were going out of their way to make age of thing, like to make me feel like I was old. Like, bitch, you are old. Were they going out of their way to make you feel older than them, or are you older than them? You're like, oh, she, like, girl, this girl crying victim because people dare be 30 in front of her.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
People dare be in their 20s in front of her. Like, oh, they're just going out of their way. Like, it just felt like we're talking about things they can only relate to. And you should see the way Nick and these other old on this stage trying to take up for her, like Like, this was such trauma. So after that, she like, oh, they do me such a way. So now she goes to John, texting John like, oh, and John was trying his endeavor best not to expose her, not to talk too much for the relationship, trying to keep it cute. But like, she was attacking him. Not only was she attacking him and trying to force him, like back him up against the wall where he had no choice but to reveal information he didn't even want to reveal. Not only is she doing this, the rest of the stage, like when I tell you Nick Val is actively going after him, like, oh, I feel like, you know, I thought you seemed like a cool guy and this, and like you solid, and now it seemed like, oh, you wanted to run, da 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 da. It was like, Teresa literally insecure. Teresa not only trying to project her insecurities onto him, she texting him talking about, oh, I feel disgusted with myself being with you and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, dog, I don't deserve that to be with somebody who talking about they feel disgusted. They disgusted with themselves when they with me. And she like, and then she told him, she tell him she feel disgusted with herself being with him. And then she tell him she over the relationship. The relationship is over. But somehow they spin it that he was wrong. He didn't go out of his way to try like reassure her, like beg for her back. When I tell you he was a la man, it was like, you told me you feel disgusted being with me, and then you told me that the relationship was over, like it was done. And she was like, okay, but you didn't say anything. So he's supposed to beg. You see these grown ass, let me tell you something. These grown ass immature people who immature and can't have a relationship with people their age, so they want people younger than them so that they could manipulate them and spin them into thinking they're the problem. Listen, you see it in Vanessa relationship with Logan, you see it in Teresa relationship with John. All of them is do this thing where if the young person ain't going what they going with, they try to convince them, manipulate them into thinking the only reason you don't understand why I'm right, you ain't being naturally inclined to do it my way is because you immature. You ain't grown up yet. You ain't ready for commitment. So she trying to spin it. You trying to spin your immature, childish, ridiculous, insecure, nut-ass shit into, oh, he ain't mature enough. Like, he's supposed to beg you to be with him after you just say you finished with the relationship. Girl, you grown. You don't oh, the relationship over if that's not what the you mean. She want him run behind her. She want him convinced. No. You shouldn't feel disgusted to feel me. He must spend the rest of his relationship, the rest of his life, or the rest of the life. That's another thing. Now let me start talking about these old people who have more life behind them than they have in front of them, talking with these young people like they trying to do this big life together. Cut it out. But you expect him to spend the rest of your little life trying to reassure you that no, ain't nothing wrong with you liking me when I'm younger than your son. Ain't no problem with that. Don't feel shame.
You should be ashamed.
She break up with him, and because they keep speaking like he's even responding, and then she complaining, she on the stage like, oh, he's a bad communicator. He wasn't texting me. It was hours of this, and he's like, we're broken up. You literally broke up with me, and I'm not a good texter. And you talk to me all these things, and then she keep running on, and Nick Val jumping on him, and he's like, dog, let's be honest. Let's remember how you talked to me after that breakup. He's like, I'm going to be honest with you. If we were not in this show and in this setting where I had to speak to you and where I was on this stage trying my best to support you in the context of this show, I would never speak to you in this life again after how you talked to me in that audio note. And she was like, oh, because I was nasty? Oh, he didn't even say the audio note at first. He was trying to keep it so vague. And she was like, because I was nasty in the audio note? Well, you hadn't been texting me. That's what it's like when you get ghosted. When I tell you, this old childish bitch was blowing me. And when I tell you Nick Val had his cape tied around his neck for her because he relates to all these old ass I'm telling you, the wife is just an ornamental piece. It's so crazy how clear the propaganda is because it's just Nick Val constantly interjecting with, well, in my relationship, well, my experience, because, you know, I felt this way and I understand what thing I'm saying and yada, 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 yada. Meanwhile, the wife is quiet. The wife only spoke for the purposes at the beginning of the show itself to offer the little narrative like, oh, she DM'd him and she was the one who wanted him and she wasn't worried about the outsiders and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Then she just in this reunion twiddling her thumb while Nick try and offer up his narrative and hope that it changed public perception while jumping down the throats of these young people because they in any way, these young people were so much more mature than these old ass Of course they are. Because it says something about a bunch of old grizzly who out here looking to date people younger than they are in. It says something to you that something wrong with them. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it.
That's right, I said it.
But anyway, they jump on my back and try and make him out to be the problem, and that was some bullshit. Justice for John here. Moving on. Who next? Andrew and Libby.
I am 38 years young.
I am 22.
Yes!
Andrew is the man who need to be in jail. The man who need to be in prison.
1,000,000 years dungeon!
Like, oh my God. Where do I start with this man? Let me be clear. Andrew is a 38-year-old strictly dates 20 to 22-year-old girls. And I'm sure it's younger. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's 19. Like,
as young as possible.
Libby is 22 and Libby looks younger. Like, let's be clear. Him trying to feign the gas. We all in the confessionals talking about how all he dates is 20-year-old blonde bitches. Is all he dates. And one of his former employees put up a TikTok online where she said what the we all knew because the man on a bartender, 38-year-old white man who think he look young, who only want to date young girls, who own a bar. Predator, criminal, jail. This man all in the confessionals talking to us, but how that's all he into. He knows she young. Oh, she da-da-da. Libby is as young. Libby looks so young. I just knew Libby was 19. Like, not only was she 22 when her age was revealed, she looks, the only reason I was even giving her 19 is because you got to be a legal adult to be on this show. She looks 16.
She probably is a little younger.
Libby looks like a child. And she named Libby. Nothing about the situation is giving grown women. And this is a man with a 14-year-old child and a 12-year-old child. And he talking to his boys, but oh, no, Libby's so young. It wouldn't even be like, a stepmom or auntie. It would be like, just like a big sister, like just adding another girl to the mix. What is cheer? But he all to the confessionals. He open and so not only is he open and brazen about the fact that this is his pattern, this is all he does. This is what he does. Okay. His boys, he literally even said before we ever saw his boys, he said when his boys see Libby, they could be like, oh, of course, we know that's what you go for. And when his boys did see them, these literally exchange money because they had a bet. They was like, oh, I knew it was gonna be a 20 to 22-year-old blonde girl. And the other one was like, and just for the record, it ain't that I didn't know that too. I just had to bet the opposite because it's a bet. But yet he and Libby face, he and the little girl face, trying to pretend like, oh, we don't usually date this young, trying to like feign as though her age might be a problem too, like it's both something they both have reservations with. And I like Libby, I like Libby. It's like I say earlier, the thing about Libby and Pfifer and these young girls is they are mature for their age. They are smart young women. And because you're a smart young woman, but you're the oldest you ever been, so you really feel like you've grown and mature and you really don't realize how much these grown, grizzly old be preying on you, but that's exactly what it is. But they don't know because Libby's still with him to this day. And she was on the reunion. Like, I was like, girl, you watched the show, you heard this. And he still spit like, you heard him, and she's still like, oh, it would be weird if like in the real world, if he knew I were 22 and he wanted me because I was 22 or blah, 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 blah. But girl, that's exactly what it is. She was like, oh, if it was like, oh, that's what he dates 22-year-old girls, whatever. And I'm just like one of them, that would be weird. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And he admitted in 4K multiple times, like,
this time, I'm really gonna do it.
He is a sicko. Like, he's a real sicko way. He's a real sick, nasty bitch. It's one of those things. Let me tell you something. It's just unfortunately one of those things you don't realize until you get older as a woman. Libby could look back on this in 10 years and feel entirely differently about it. I know that. But that man, do I have anything else I want to say about him before I go? Anyway, Venelle and Jorge. I think that's my last couple.
I'm 27.
What? I'm 60.
I am going to explode in 6 seconds.
Where do I begin? Jorge, let me explain something to y'all. Jorge is not just only a 60-year-old who think he look good. Jorge is a 60-year-old man who is a criminal defense attorney. Do you listen, I am a criminal defense attorney. Do you understand the level of like, how do I say this without disparaging my own genre? my fellow defense attorney is. What I'm trying to put across is this is not only a 27-year-old girl with a 60-year-old man. Like the power dynamic, the gap, the everything, the undue influence there is crazy in and of itself. But this is a man who is a criminal defense attorney. Do you understand the kind of like And it was on display. It was on display the amount of manipulation and gaslighting and reverse psychology and tactical plotting that was being done on this man. The slickness with which Jorge operates. It's incredible, but it ain't. You know, it's very commonplace. A 60-year-old, like, let me tell you something. If you see a 60-year-old good-looking black man who is an attorney and he alone, he is single, he's a flim-flamming, full of shitter ass. Okay, that's all you have to know. That's all you have to know. You see that? Listen, arrogance can. Women love hard, you know. You can never tell women. Listen, when women have babies with men and still get them back to the streets, I know they ain't no good. I know they ain't no good. Let's lie. This whole old ass who done been married before and that woman done leave him. He have children, which he intentionally withheld from Venelle until after he done commit to her. Let me run it back before I talk about Jorge. Let me start with this. Venelle originally had another connection, an old ass white man who was way younger than old ass Jorge, but still old nonetheless. Too old for her probably. That man was probably like a good 45. That looked like a white 45.
Visceral dating.
Which is like a black 54. You know what I mean? But that's what he looked like. Seemed nice enough or whatever. But she had originally connected with him and she liked it. Girl. Like, the love of fast talking, cocky can really be people's downfall, you know. I tell him, I say that. As I say fast talking, cocky and I thought about this. Oh, I was like, lie me, get that description self-applied. Don't be slandering fast talking cocky nigga. That's your people. She was out there having a nice, calm, easy going time with that white man and she didn't like him. All up until she gone and she sit down with Jorge and all of a sudden she's like, oh, he's so fine. He's so this. He's such a man. He's such a this. Oh, he's so, you know, in charge. He's so, let me tell you something. Ladies, we have to stop being attracted to misogyny, you know. That's all it is be. Like, it's like, oh, he's a man. I like the way he was in charge. He was this. He was a misogynist. Like, yeah, not that he was a misogynist. What you're attracted to is him performing a gender role, performing a certain kind of masculinity. Like, oh, it's me, I have the authority, I run things, I in charge. Y'all so like that. You so like that until you in a relationship with him and he don't want to respect shit you have to say. You telling him how something he doing make you uncomfortable and he like, I don't have to listen to you. Oh, well, I grew up like this. You don't know about this. You don't have these experiences. That's what's gonna happen when you will get yourself. First of all, a 60-year-old, you can't tell old people nothing. You can't tell old people nothing. When can a young person tell an old person any motherfucking thing? Let alone an old black man, a 60-year-old. But a 60-year-old who's a lawyer? Like, that shit is ridiculous, yeah? It's him, and what really killed me is him at the reveal when he finally, it's like, oh, you ready for this? Like, I'm 60. And it's like, here's my turn. The way it's like, oh, when she said she was 27, oh, wow. Oh, you know that little girl 27, and that's why your old grizzly ass went on. You looking at a girl younger than your daughter, which you conveniently ain't tell a girl about. But you play in shock. And at the end of the day, it's like this. You know the girl. The girl might not know how old you is. For whatever reason, I don't know what kind of la be living in where we pretend this man who I can't even like. This an old man, babe. Look at him from the back. Look at him move. This an old man. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all don't know what old man look like. But she like, oh, I thought you was 40, late 40. Stop talking. Yeah, but even if she's somehow silly enough to think such a thing, you know you 60 and you know you looking at a little ass girl. What the are you on? And it ain't like these people are not familiar with what that age look like. Like they so old, they ain't been around young people in so long, they don't know. All they cheering, they're cheering is the same age as these people. They know, he know. What business do you have? And it's like, oh, I'm not going to age mess this up or whatever. Because, you know, we have a connection. We have a genuine connection. I'm not going to let something like age ruin this connection. I have to explore connection. Stop talking this shit, man. Unjack him. I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that. Every time I whip out connection, like it makes it like, oh, y'all refer to earlier rant about connection, okay? I ain't gonna run on again. Just know that shit was pissing me the off. But at the commitment thing where they reveal the ages, she 27 and this 60. She also tells him like, oh, I'm celibate, right? And like, let's think about this. An old grizzly 60-year-old man who still think he cute, who's still running around single and looking for young girls stuff. What you think he looking for a young girl for? What do you think a 60-year-old man want with a young girl other than to f her? What do you think he want with her? Nothing. But she tell him, oh, I celibate. No one else has a problem with him. Oh, that's not a problem at all. I'm not celibate. I respect you because he's a lawyer. He just running. He just saying what the he have to say. Whole time he in the confessionals plotting about, oh, that's something we could discuss. See this. And every time from that moment forward, this taking every opportunity. I respect her celibacy journey or whatever. But, and he trying to manipulate and talk her into having sex with him. So he's trying to spin it like, she's celibate, but because she's still kissing him, she's still cuddling him, she's still trying to do other things. He's like, well, that's not really celibacy, so you might as well do it. That's not really celibacy, that's what it is. So if you ain't really practicing celibacy, is this just arbitrary? What's the goal? Like, he acting like her celibacy is something to be negotiated and explained to him. Like, as if if she don't put forth a reason enough that seems grounded and smart and intelligent enough for him, then this ain't something worth honoring. It's how he carried on. Like, he's saying, no, I respect his celibacy. I respect it, but keep bringing it up as a point of contention and trying to argue about it. So then the celibacy thing, on top of the fact, and mind you, he know that this a gal, she's a Christian gal, she's a Christian daughter, so she doesn't say, oh, she done promised God, she ain't having sex no more until she get married, XYZ, and she mean that she been celibate for 2 years and blah, 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 blah. So this man doesn't know what it is, but he trying to tell her, oh, well, this ain't really celibacy since you doing all the things, so then you might as well this and yada, 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 yada. Shut up! Shut up! Let me tell you, I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her when she just got up and left this like said, okay, that's it. After, because, and it wasn't just the celibacy thing. Not only was he out here trying to pressure on the celibacy and he arguing with her, they get into it because, and this shit pissed me off. This shit pissed me off deeply at the reunion. Let me talk about, ooh, this man is getting on my nerves. They got into it. The conversation that prompted the overall argument between this and the celibacy to cost them breakup was they was outside in the street somewhere. Some random in the street screamed something at them. They're probably mentally ill, on drugs, or just a regular on the side of the road that is start harassing daughters. So he screamed something at her. Jorge decides to start screaming and cussing at the So now they going back and forth. The is done cross the street to like get closer to them to cause a physical heat in their space. Jorge threatening to beat and all this and the next. So Venelle saying to him like, hey, that made me uncomfortable. Like that you essentially, you escalated the situation. You put us in danger trying to play macho man with some outside when you should have just ignored it. And Jorge, he coming with this shit. Let me tell you something. This shit pissed me off, and it pissed me off so bad in reunion. Because let me tell you, Jorge come in like, oh, I'm gonna defend my woman. I'm gonna protect my woman. XYZ. I'm gonna always do that, so it don't matter in any situation. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna protect my woman. If something like threatening her and coming in her space, I'm gonna protect any woman that I'm with. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna step every time. You don't know what I know. I come from this background. You ain't never had no life and experiences like that. You never experienced like that, so you don't understand the situation and yada, 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 yada.
I don't even think you really know what a bad day is.
Oh my God. And even on the reunion, he was back with that shit, and multiple people on the stage, Derek and Leah and Nick Vile and all them jumping in to like double down on this for him, like, oh yeah, like she's like, you escalating the situation. For all you know, this man could have had a knife, he could have had a gun, or whatever. And this Jorge, it pissed me off so bad because like I said earlier, it is these grown, immature people doing and saying and espousing shit that is immature and incorrect, but because they trying to pass it off to these young people like it's some kind of divine wisdom they don't get. He's like, she doesn't say, oh, they could have had a knife, they could have had a gun. I don't actually feel safer. You didn't de-escalate the situation. You escalated the situation. And he's like, oh, it don't matter if you have a knife or a gun or whatever. That's what I'm gonna do every time. I'm gonna defend mine. I'm gonna always step. No, that is the performance of hypermasculinity.
Another person is attacking me in the fruit section. And then they're gone. That
is the problem with liking these perform hypermasculinity and gender roles. Now the two of y'all stab up and head on the road because he want you's a 60-year-old. What the I gonna step them every time. It don't matter if they have a gun or a knife. For what? So you can feel like a big man before you dead? Now you laying on the back of the wait, look here. Now you laying on the back of this church. Look here. Oh, dog. But he was running right on and trying to pin it like, oh, you ain't from an environment for me. I'm like, I'm from the hood, and that's how we do it. We know those type of dudes or whatever. If they get up in your space and you back down, they just gonna escalate. And Derek chiming in too, like, oh, I'm from that same kind of background as Jorge, and that's my experience, so I understand I would have had it the same way. Leah jumping in like, oh, you're not telling us how close he really was. She jumping in to try to go at Venelle, like, oh, Venelle, it sounded like he was saying this and that it was close and blah, blah, blah. Hey, if y'all get the out of here, nobody knows better than a woman at any age how to deal with and de-escalate situations with men who harass you on the street. I couldn't believe this shit. Every woman knows how you leave a situation, men who screaming at you shit on the street without escalating it. And everybody knows 9 times out of 10 that is to completely ignore, smile politely, go about your business, get out the way. But it is never to engage them and escalate it. And he trying to convince a woman who gotta keep herself safe on the streets of the world.
This nigga's crazy.
Talking to her like she don't know nothing, but you never experienced, you don't know nothing. She don't know nothing about screaming at you in the street. She don't know nothing about crazy ass screaming at you in the street. I couldn't believe this shit. This is the worst. And then he tried to spin it like, oh, listen, I'm a criminal defense attorney. Like, I wouldn't, just engage in some stuff or whatever, just engage in it. Baby, yes, you would, because you did. I'm a criminal defense attorney and you're incorrect. What kind of Let me tell you something. I cannot stand a who have to perform and defend his masculinity on the street to strangers. Oh my God. If you've watched 5 Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad, Super Raggedy Men, y'all know how I feel about this in the Aiden the Antichrist story. I cannot stand a who want to get into altercations on the street to defend his masculinity. And he up there running right on and everybody gas like, no, this is the next thing. And when I tell you he just is a liar, and the thing that's annoying me about Jorge is have his moments like at other times he chime in during the ceremony to like defend John and maybe do something else, say a couple of things that was right in general. But that, when it comes to him, gaslighting and lying and spinning the truth with his old ass.
Stop lying. Tell the truth.
When they bring up the fact that like, hey, how come you ain't never mentioned that you had children? You waited until after the commitment ceremony to tell her you had children. And he, I'm glad you bring that up. I'm glad you give me a chance to address that because he getting criticism because everybody know this man, she talked him. She bring up at the commitment ceremony wanting to have kids. Oh, do you want to have kids? There was multiple opportunities for the to tell her you have kids and he ain't say nothing. And then he coming up here all on the stage like, oh, that had nothing to do with her. I had just decided that I was going to tell her at a different time. And so, it's just me being stubborn that like, oh, that's not the time I planned to tell you, so I wasn't going to do it then and blah, blah, blah. He talking in circles and Nick Viall and them just accepting this hodgepodge of garbage, this talking because he about it on purpose. Because his intention is to bamboozle and a young gal. That's all it is. And yet they still on the stage like, oh, you and Venelle had such good chemistry. It's so sad y'all ain't fixed it. Oh, he's like, well, Venelle still love me. Venelle still love me. Oh, the door's still open for me and Venelle. And she like, oh, and da-da-da-da. And this and that. I thought I was getting married. And I'm just like, everybody on this mother need help. Everybody need help. Everybody need help. And so many need prison. That is everybody. Look here. This is awful. It really is awful. And they already, not only is it awful, but season 2 is already in the works. Literally during the reunion, Nick Viall was doing casting call commercials throughout the reunion, like on the YouTube. I say, he like, oh, go ahead if you want to be on season 2. Netflix have to be stopped. They really do, yeah? If you enjoyed the video you just watched, it's your lucky day because you just found it on one of 7 channels inside my Illuminati-verse. Subscribe to Illuminati, my flagship channel, where you'll find my magnum opuses like If Pretty is a Privilege, Ugly is a Curse, How This Didn't Age Well Destroyed Media Literacy, How Men Become Aziz Ansari, and more. Subscribe to Illuminati Pop for my TV and film essays on shows like How I Met Your Mother, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, You, Euphoria, Insecure, and so many more. You can also join Illuminati Pop on Patreon to watch all of my YouTube videos uncensored. Subscribe to Illuminati Bites for short, serious, and nuanced commentary on whatever the internet is spiraling about. Subscribe to Olay and Chill if you're trying to laugh and chill while unpacking the latest TikTok chaos. Subscribe to Illuminati Politics for sharp breakdowns of the political moments shaping our lives right now. Subscribe to Illuminati Extras for music commentary and industry deep dives. Subscribe to Olay and Friends to watch your favorite Black thinkers and creators dissect the culture. Subscribe to any or all the channels in the Illuminati-verse that speak to you, and I'll see you there. And you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky at Illuminati. And you can also follow Illuminati Pop and Olay and Chill on Instagram and TikTok so you never miss a thing. If you enjoyed this video, it's your lucky day because I have a YouTube channel filled with more just like it. Watch the video being recommended to you on the screen. Subscribe, click like, and comment to stay up to date with videos on the channel.